Welcome back to Metropole Television. Our 2 hours should begin just right now. Okay, let's tell you exactly what it is that we have prepared for you this morning. Now, we do know that COVID-19 has come in between us and affected the way in which we live our daily lives. It has affected the way in which we understand our business. It has affected the way in which we interpret our jobs and our living in general. Now, you would think, therefore, that in between this period, nothing is really going on. But you'll be wrong. Is that you have people who really now known that COVID-19 has come up with another opportunity for people to sit back, relook at their skills, reinvent themselves, and say, it's time for us to start shooting. In this sense, you can actually say that some entrepreneurial skills have been sharpened during the COVID-19 pandemic. I will tell you how. You've seen a lot of online marketing. You've seen a lot of people going around selling their wares even from the boots of their cars. So this morning, I want to introduce you two aspects. One is called the quarantine warrior. But then I want to introduce to you Lapid Leaders Africa. And this morning, we are joined by Paul Nganga. He is the head of digital strings agency. But most importantly now, let's attach Lapid Africa. He's a graduate of Lapid Leaders Africa. Paul, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
I want to ask you one thing just before we talk about what it is that we're doing here this morning.
Yes.
Why the quarantine warrior?
That's a good question. For us, a quarantine warrior is someone who is not taking this time to binge watch, someone who is taking this time to upskill, someone who is taking this time to build up on the skills that they may have, someone who is taking this time to even stand up for the less fortunate, someone who is going an extra mile just to make sure that they stay afloat. I mean, a lot of businesses have closed, so many people have lost jobs, and there is so much endless hours spent indoors because we can't go out.
Yes.
So what do you do with all this free time that you have? And we have people like you mentioned. I've seen a lot of people on the road selling their foodstuffs from the boots of the car.
Yes.
Guys just trying to make sure that they stay afloat, feed their families. And these are the people we are celebrating.
Yes.
For us, that is the true spirit of who a warrior is.
I see.
And during this pandemic, those are the people that we want to celebrate. But a big focus is on the youths, because again, our country is made up of so many young people. The majority of the population is young people. So how do we help them to also tap into that warrior within them so that they win in this quarantine period?
I see, fantastic. Now let's talk about Lapid Africa. Lapid Leaders Africa. Just want to get it right. You are a graduate of that. I just want to know, how long did it take you? What skills did it impact on you? And do you think that you would have been a different person if you weren't a graduate of Lapid Leaders Africa?
Without a doubt, the far that I have come so far, even in terms of my career, a big part of it, I can build it up and say it's Lapid Leaders Africa that has helped me to get where I am today.
Yes.
I remember when I was joining, I was in my final year in campus, and when you're in campus, you tend not to think around life after campus.
Yeah, what made you join? What pushed you to join?
What made me join Lapid Leaders Africa is because they normally had these open days when we didn't have the pandemic.
Yes.
They used to have open days, and they would invite campuses to come and join, guys from different campuses. And in the midst of that open day, they would invite a guest speaker. So for me, what stood out for me, the open day that I went to, they had a PwC partner who was a guest for that open day.
Masha.
And this guy had the most amazing crisp suit you've ever seen. And being a student in campus, you want to look at that and be like,
I want to be like that.
I want to be like this guy. Yeah. So when I joined in, that was part of the reason why. But also the conversations in the open space were beyond anything that I was used to.
Yes.
So there was a lot of conversations around soft skills and hard skills.
Masha.
And people don't realize, but hard skills are good, but soft skills are more important. Your people skills, how you relate with your coworkers, how you network, how you negotiate. Those are the skills that for me really, really stood out and has made a difference in as far as my career is concerned.
That despite what you're good at, despite what you're learning and despite what your profession is, you need something extra, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes,
That's exactly what stood out for you.
Yes.
Fantastic. So let's talk about that now. Is it purely? Are you looking at Lapid Leaders Africa purely from an entrepreneurial perspective? Or, I know there's a leading perspective to that. And when I was looking at exactly what you're touching as quarantine warrior, you're also saying that we want to impact society in terms of leadership.
Yes.
So how do you bridge the two?
That's a good question. So at Lapid Leaders Africa, we are very big on values.
Yes.
Lapid is very big on values-driven people.
Yes.
So with the check on your self-drive. Because even as you join, a big conversation is normally around your aspirations, your dreams as a young person,
Yes.
what you aspire to become. And then they align you with mentors from the local industry.
People have never really understood the importance of a mentor. Would you tell me what the importance of a mentor is for anybody who really wants to develop career-wise?
I'll tell you for a fact that a mentor tends to serve like your compass, especially when you're starting out.
Yes.
There's so many directions you can take. There are so many paths that you can take.
Yes.
But having a mentor allows you to align what you think you want and what your passions are.
Fantastic. What you think you want and
And
what your passions are.
yes.
Those are totally different things, Paul. Are you saying that?
Yes, two completely different things. Because most of the times we think with our heads and not with also what's in our heart.
I see.
And a mentor allows
What
you.
should go first? Is it your
Yes.
heart or your head?
Most of the time it's the head. And a mentor allows you
Yes.
to sort of like connect the two.
Yes.
So that now you can see where you're headed.
I see.
And how the two skills are attached to one another. You have your hard skills and you have your soft skills. You have your mind, your logic, and you have your passion. Once they connect, there's no stopping.
But do you think that this is exactly what society needs right now? And I want to talk to you about what's going on right now. We have stats that up to around 1.2 million people right now have lost their jobs just as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Do you think that now, more than ever, that those are the skills that you need just to keep your head up in the sky?
I think yes, you do.
Yes.
Because if you look at it, by the end of the day, like for example, right now, we have a closure of up to January for schools.
Yes.
And you can imagine that's about 6 months of time for so many young people who will be staying at home.
Yes.
So you want to take this time to make sure that you upscale on the skills you feel you don't have.
I get it.
But at the same time, you need to plug into a space
Yes.
that allows you to tap into those skills.
Yes.
Because if you can get into a community like Lapid Leaders Africa, it's a community that not only keeps you accountable, but it also helps you build your skills.
Yes.
So we are telling you, you're getting more skills, you're getting exposed to mentors and coaches from the local industry,
Yes.
such that by the time January hits, or even before January,
Yes.
you are able to even sit down, reevaluate how far you have gone, and see where you want to go after the COVID, after this pandemic.
Fantastic. Now, Paul, this is the last question that I have for you this morning, because we're going to speak to your president.
Yes.
So we see exactly what you're doing and how this is going to impact people here locally. Tell me, what is your vision for any youth now getting affected by the COVID-19 pandemic? What do you need now? More than ever, you've lost your job. You look at your tunnels. There seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Nobody's hiring right now. Everybody's trying to live thin. What would be your biggest one for this youth?
For me, what I would say to the young people out here right
Yes.
now, because I can only try and put myself in their shoes, because I have been there as well.
Yes.
I've been there at a space and time when I was very confused and I didn't know what to do.
Yes.
And what happens is we have lost so many jobs and people are sort of like laying down now, we're giving up. But what I will tell the youths, and this also happens to be something that the parents of these young people can also help them do,
Yes.
find communities like Lapid and plug in. And the good thing is that we are also we have an ongoing intake in July. So for someone who wants to join us, they can easily send us an email at info@lapidleaders.africa, at lapidleadersafrica.com, and we'll definitely get back to them.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All right, Paul, let's take that break, because I know we're going to speak to your president next. All right, we take a tiny little break and inviting the president to talk to us about what it is exactly they are doing here locally, what their long-term goals are, and what the effect has been so far. You're still watching Metropole Television.